What's going on, guys? John here with the Fantasy Tap, back again with our guy Hugh. What is going on? Welcome in. We are here for the DFS episode. We got our DFS expert. Let us know how we're doing today, Hugh.
I'm doing all right. I have some family in town, but otherwise I'm enjoying myself.
Oh, well, otherwise, you mean you're enjoying the family is what you meant. You're
Yeah.
enjoying the company and love the weekend time. Um,
Yes.
so we do have what some call a bipocalypse and a lot of interesting fantasy players not playing this week, missing out on players from the Chargers, the Cowboys, the Vikings. I believe off the top of my head, I'm blanking at the moment. Just some very big ones. So DFS is going to be a little interesting this week. What are you doing when we go to cash games? We're going to be talking DraftKings like always. Cash games, quarterback position. What are we feeling? Who are our locks?
So I think I've settled on three cash game quarterbacks, and it settles around Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Jalen Hurts. And Patrick Mahomes is just in another smash spot against a horrible Tennessee Titans secondary. I mean, we saw this last game. I mean, Janoris Jenkins is the lead corner in that backfield or in that secondary, and he's just getting torched. So I believe Tyreek Hill's been, trending in the upward position or upward, trending all week. Kelsey's doing the same thing. I mean, Mahomes is healthy. I mean, he got it. I mean, that's like another smash spot for him. And going down to Lamar, he got unlucky last week. He only saw I touted Lamar, but they scored 4 touchdowns last week. None of them came from him. Just all washed up running back from like 2015. So that was kind of like wow. But he still scored like 19 DraftKings points. So he nearly got there even without getting any touchdowns. So it could have been an even bigger week for him. So I think you can continue to go back to the well, and paying down from Mahomes to Lamar is, it's it's $1,000. Patrick's 8,400 and Lamar is only 74. So I like that. And then my third one, this guy, I mean, you're going to probably play this guy and then you just don't watch the game, and it's Jalen Hurts. Like, you just say, oh, I'm playing Jalen Hurts, and then you just don't watch him play Las Vegas because, I mean, the guy just gets garbage time points. Like, he is the quintessential Tim Tebow in the NFL right now.
Yeah, I was starting to get nervous last week when he was playing against the Bucs. You saw it up until like the fourth quarter. I think he had like 9.5 points, and then all of a sudden he started just rushing it in and rushing and looked pretty good by the end of the game. One of those stat monsters. So what about looking at tournament plays? There are some interesting plays. I'm a huge fan of Matt Stafford this week, but I think everyone else is on that same trend. So I think that's where a lot of the people are going to go. What are you thinking?
So I think people. I haven't seen a lot right now on it, and I'm looking at an ownership percentage of around 10% in large field tournaments. For some reason, I think that's too low. I think they're underthinking about that game. I think it's a smash spot, but I'm not. Maybe they're thinking bigger, like, oh, this is going to be a smash spot, so maybe Stafford's not the one to grab in this. But I mean, it's kind of a revenge game narrative. I like it. I would play Stafford in tournaments. There's a lot of quarterbacks I'd play this week in tournaments just for the position they're at. So I think it's going to be. I think it's a better tournament week than it is cash week, to be honest. Just because there's so many different routes that can get you there this week in a tournament. But I do think if you take down a tournament, you're probably going to be needing over 230 to 240 to take a tournament down.
Yeah, it does seem like there's a lot of games that could turn out to some big shootouts, giving a lot of fantasy points out there for everyone. What are some of the matchups, if you are going tournament style, that you would be targeting? Me personally, I'm looking at the Miami-Atlanta matchup. if I'm going outside of the Detroit Rams one, I think that both of those teams' defense has been allowing a lot of points, and I think both quarterbacks are able to take advantage of that. And you could play names from both sides to build a nice little roster.
Yeah, I think you could do that. You can run a narrative for either side. I like Tua Tagovailoa at 5,500 and Matt Ryan for 57. I think those are probably the two lowest I'd go and pay down for at this point. Both projecting in single digits. So that's good. I think I'd lean more in Ryan because I think he can get there with the 300 passing yards more than Tua can.
Oh, shit.
So I think on DraftKings I lean Ryan there just because I like the passing attack more than I do Miami. A couple other ones that I like. Derek Carr at 6K. He's looking at sub 10% ownership in large field tournaments. Philly has just not been very good this year again, and they're at right now. The Raiders are playing at home, and so it's a good spot for Carr. Burrow against Baltimore if that game gets steamed up. Every week, I said it last week, Burrow's pass attempts have just gone up, and the connection between him and Chase is just even better. And there's a couple of cheap wide receivers you can play with Burrow, so I like that connection there for for tournaments. But I think a lot of people are going to be focused maybe around Ryan Tannehill. This opposite side of KC, he's 6,400. So yeah, there's a lot. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. Take your pick. These quarterbacks are all in really good spots. I think it's going to be pretty hard to differentiate yourself at quarterback. So you're really going to have the top of the top, and have a good stack from there.
All right. I like that a lot. What about some of these running backs? Now let's get back into some cash plays. Which one are your locks of the week?
Yeah, so I mean, it's cold here in Texas. I mean, not as cold as it should be, but it's Derek Yeti season. So the guy's only $9,200 on DraftKings. I mean, he's the highest projected running back on the slate right now, but he's still projected for under 20% ownership. I think he's a lock in cash, and I think he'll still. I think he's not getting a lot of ownership because of the simple fact that he's playing the Chiefs, and people are thinking if the game gets out of hand, maybe they can't play him because the Tennessee's going to be forced to pass. But I mean, in all reality, Derrick Henry's taking screen passes now, so he's in the pass game. He's in their attack. He is their attack. So I mean, at $9,200, I still think he's cheap for what his potential ceiling could be because we saw it in this last primetime game. Like the guy damn near broke 50 points. So I mean, Derrick Henry in cash all day, and I think in tournaments too. Another one is Daryl Henderson. He's at 6,600. However, I think a lot more people are going to be playing him. He just has such a safe, secure role. Sony Michel only played like 12 snaps last week. So, I mean, Henderson is just getting all the volume, and volume is king for what we're looking for at this point.
Absolutely.
Another one I like, Leonard Fournette. I mean, the guy's just pushed out Ronald Jones. He's at $6,400. So I think those are
out last week too.
Yeah, I think those are like your kind of like lock in cash. To be honest, I think you can like make an honorable mention for Chuba Hubbard. There's only two running backs that they've got, and Chuba's seeing like 90% of the workload that CMC's seeing, and Matt Rule's come out this week saying that they need to take the ball away from Sam Darnold, and they need to establish the run a little bit more, and they need to get Chuba a little bit more involved and stuff like that. And they can't have Darnold getting all flustered in the pocket. So I think Chuba's another pretty good pay down if you need to, and running back at 6,100.
Okay. Some of the people I'm liking this week, Daryl Williams. Sorry, Damian Williams not playing this week. But Daryl Williams for Kansas City with Clyde Edwards out, I think, is another solid play, especially against Tennessee's defense.
Mm-hmm.
How are you feeling about Khalil Herbert this week?
Um, you know, I, I think last week was a good showing for him. I just don't know what I want to like. It's against Tampa Bay. I've just gone this entire year. You don't play running back against Tampa Bay, and I think it's the same thing here. So, I mean, the guy's getting all the work, so I don't know. I'd be shying away from it if it was me.
Alrighty. Okay, fair enough. Any cheaper running backs or anyone else you're throwing in a tournament to help you build a roster?
Yeah, I think my number one guy is James Conner down at 5,600. Um, Arizona, if I'm looking at this correctly, their implied team total right now is 32 and a half. The spread is 17 and a half right now from what I'm looking at against the Houston Texans. They are just set to just demolish the Houston Texans right now. And Connor is getting all the goal line looks. He's getting all the short yardage looks, and he's getting everything during the run out plays. And with Chase Edmonds, he came back to practice this week, but he's still nursing that shoulder injury. So if Connor just sees any uptick in his snaps, I mean, the guy's going to probably get anywhere upwards to 15 DraftKings points and up if he sees the goal line, where he might even break 20. And
Yeah,
paying down at 5,600. I mean, that's what I'm looking for right there if I want to spend a cheap running back.
Yeah, last week we saw him come over and take a huge roll over, and I mean, we saw him in Pittsburgh. He can be a dominant 1A running back by himself and carry an offense if he's healthy, and he is right now. So even if Edmonds is coming back and is somewhat healthy, I still see some value in him. And I think there is, if you're doing tournament style and you're building multiple lineups, you might want to chuck him into one because he does have the possibility of scoring multiple touchdowns in a game. And then someone that if you're in multiple lineups, I would take a shot on Miles Sanders in one of them this week, mainly on the fact that we are getting some coach speak saying that they need to get him more involved and more worked into the offense. And the coach saying that means it's a 50-50 chance, and we'll know soon. So,
yeah, I definitely don't hate that play. Yeah, I mean, he's down at 5,100. I mean, the guy's cheap, so if you need to throw it in, I don't hate it for tournaments. I definitely would not be playing that in cash.
No, absolutely not. And then one more tourney play could be Mike Davis. It's very, very slightly involved, but Miami's absolutely terrible run defense. Even on 10 carries, I think there's a strong possibility he finds himself in the end zone this week. And that coupled with his somewhat consistent 50 yards per game-ish, little bit of other outside work, might be a usable day. And again, just priced so cheaply that you can help. He's not going to win you your week, but I think it'll help you price in some more expensive players to help push your point total up.
I think a couple other ones that I like for tournaments. Josh Jacobs. I think this might be a Josh Jacobs week. He's 6,200. They're at home. If the Raiders are winning comfortably, Jacobs is scoring about 20, 25 fantasy points there. Another one I like, Damian Harris against New York. And then a kind of more shot. It's not really a shot. It's more kind of leaning on the fact of I know Antonio Gibson was practicing. He's still, I think is he still on the injury report or did he come off?
I think he's still questionable at this point.
I believe, yeah. So J.D. McKissick is interesting just because it's against Green Bay. If Green Bay goes out and just shoots out a league and Antonio Gibson's still not feeling it with his shin, I think McKissick can see a whole lot of targets. So if you're running a lot of entries, I think McKissick is a good shot for you.
All right. All right, let's jump over to the receiver category. Obviously, I've already mentioned I like Matt Stafford a lot this week. It gives me a lot of comfortability paying up for people like Cooper Kupp in cash games this week. But I do see a strong trend of a lot of other people feeling comfortable in there. So where am I going if I want to take some outside plays that I can get away from the chalk?
Well, chalk this week is pretty big. Cut to cover the chalk. Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp. I mean, all three of those guys are in smash spots again. So I think you're looking to play those guys in cash. Guys that are still priced up that I like, that you can get away from. DeAndre Hopkins, 7,700. Calvin Ridley, I like, and Jamar Chase are a couple that I like that are still priced up pretty high. But I think if you're looking for, your cash plays, if you can find, I don't think you can do this, but if you can't get all three, but you could definitely get two of either Devontae and Kupp or Tyreek and Kupp, something like that. If you can get two of those guys in your lineup, that'll get you pretty set. Yeah. And then, kind of going down a couple of tournament throws, three guys right in a group here: Chris Godwin, Marquise Brown, and Jalen Waddle. I like all three of those guys for tournaments this week. I think I can even like Chris Godwin in cash, just because of how cheap he is. He's 5,900. Antonio Brown's out this week. I think this just could be a Godwin game, to be honest.
I think both of them could get involved pretty strongly, especially with Gronkowski out as well. Mike Evans will have a strong chance to take over that role that we saw him have last year when Gronk wasn't fully involved. It wasn't really rolling yet. But that red zone target is on his back right now.
Yeah, with Antonio Brown out and with Gronk out still, I think you can run a pretty strong stack with Brady, Evans, and Godwin. So that's something you can look into. A couple other guys to mention for tournaments. AJ Brown. I don't know if the guy's still dealing with Chipotle or not, but I mean, he came out in the last portion of that game. $6,300. I mean, he looks good. Julio Jones, I think he's a shell of his old self right now. I don't think the guy's really healthy. I think he's just kind of out there to be out there. So I'd take AJ Brown over him. I think Henry Ruggs a pretty decent shot in tournaments. Devante Smith, another good shot in tournaments. This is a really cheap and dirty name, but like Allen Robinson.
No, he's actually on. No, he's on the injury report right now, questionable for the game. He hasn't really proven much to us.
I'd rather play
Darnell Mooney over him right now.
You play Darnell Mooney, but I mean, he's $5,100. He's down here. He's in the pits. And if you're looking for a cheap bring back for Tampa Bay, I mean, you don't have to like it. That's what you're in for tournaments. So like, if you can swallow that,
I can't. Just because you're getting a $5 value meal that's been sitting on the ground for 6 hours for $2 doesn't mean that you should be picking it up and eating it. I think at that point, if you're paying for Robinson, you might as well just pay down a little bit more and grab some like T. Higgins.
Yeah, so there's another one that I like at T. Higgins. It's 49.
Darnell Mooney's 46.
Yeah, if you want to pay all the way down, you can go to Darnell Mooney at 46. So, the guy's got to do something, but I don't know what's going on with that situation, and it's really killing me that such a good wide receiver is just not being utilized in that offense. So
it is tragic.
I just keep going back to it, just thinking like this has got to be the week that he gets 20 points and then vanishes again. And I'd rather play him on the week that he does than on the week after when he doesn't do it at all. So
What do you feel about Brandon Cooks this week going up against the Arizona Cardinals? They are giving up 40 points to the wide receiver on average per week. Are we comfortable playing him at all? Because he's my start of the week, and Mike has me a little scared about it.
I think if Davis Mills can act as a sufficient quarterback, then yeah, he's gonna be pretty good.
Okay, so we're 50-50.
Yeah, I think I'm 50-50 on it. Like, I'm not going to be playing the guy in cash at all. Just because I do think that Arizona offense is leveled up, the defense is leveled up, and they're getting Chandler Jones back and J.J. Watt. Like, that pass rush is just insane. And if Mills is uncomfortable in the backfield at all, I mean, they're basically they're playing with what the Niners did a couple of years ago, where they have this amazing pass rush and the DBs are just allowed to sit back and cover. You know, they're getting pressure on the quarterback. That's all they need. So I'm like 50-50 on the play. I mean, the guy is the number one. He is like the number one target there. So I don't hate it, but I'm definitely not going to be in love with it when I do it.
That's fair. That's a great way to cover your butt there and not say either. That's fine. So let's jump over to the tight ends.
If you're gonna hold a knife to me, I think Brandon Cooks is a good play for this week.
All right, over under 15 points.
I'm
gonna shout you out Monday morning.
Over under 15 points.
Full point.
Full point? I'll take the over.
I'll take the over. I like it. All right. Let's jump into those tight ends. It is going to be National Tight Ends Day, so I'm actually expecting a lot of juice. I want to see a lot of hype. Maybe some teams taking advantage and letting their guys thrive. What are you thinking? Outside of Travis Kelce, we know if you can fit Travis Kelce into your lineup, you play him, no questions asked.
Mm-hmm. I think there's a couple of them that are pretty good this week for cash considerations. Paying up Mark Andrews. At this point, the guy is playing like a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Him, Pitts, and Gesicki, I have all pretty good cash viable options that are sitting there between $6K and $4,700. I'm not sure how I still feel about TJ Hawkinson as a bringback in that Detroit-LA game. Utilization's there. I just think the guy's just hurt still. Yeah. And he's just not all there. Another one I'm kind of a little interested in, Dallas Goddard, 46. He has no more Ertz problem. He's the only one there. So I think the target share condenses between him and Devante Smith. So I think that's kind of all I'm paying up for, to be honest. I think Hunter Henry's in a good spot. However, I don't want to pay $4,100 for him at that point. Like, if he was like 35, I'd pay it. Ricky Seals-Jones is still underpriced at 3,700, so I could pay down for him still. I mean, OJ Howard kind of did it, but he's a little bit more expensive. It's 3,400. Another one that's interesting for tournaments, I'd say Cole Kmet at 3K. No more Jimmy Graham. So if you're looking for a nice cheap bring back for that Tampa Bay game, we talked about Mooney at 46. You can even go deeper at Cole Kmet at 3K.
Yeah. I don't mind it. If we're going cheap, I don't know where he's at currently. I'm looking for him. At 3K, right next to Cole Kmet. I actually really like CJ Uzomah. Even though there's so many other options in that offense, Baltimore's been allowing some of the most points to the tight end week in and week out. Uzomah has shown flashes of involvement in that offense. And again, I don't know. I've just got this feeling about him that I like. And for the value that you're paying, I think you'll at least get it. I mean, what do you really need for 3K? 8 points? 10 points?
12, 15?
He can do it. It's National Tight Ends Day. He's got it.
we'll see. I mean, I think you're right. The guy is definitely boom or bust. Baltimore has been giving up the most. They're one of the teams with them giving up the most points to tight ends. So I don't hate that play. Definitely not going down to pay for him in cash. But I think in tournaments it's a very very fine play to pay down for. I'll one up you one more.
Okay.
Just because the guy he doesn't see a lot of target volume, but when you're paying all the way down at 2,700 for a tight end, Tommy Trumbull.
Tommy Trumbull.
The dude just he'll just get 3 targets, 1 reception, 10 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, at 2,700, that's all you need to get to where you need to go.
Exactly.
So in tournaments, I think that's my way low pay dirt bottom of the barrel, and then flip it over and find the gum on the bottom. That's what I'm playing.
Man, okay. What are you doing when we come to defenses? I feel like outside of the Rams defense this week, there's not a huge spread on prices. You're looking at 4K to 2K going from number 2 to number 30, I believe, or 28, I guess, with all the bye weeks.
Yeah, so I think you could play either. It's gonna be really interesting to say this, but I think either Tennessee or KC are good options.
I think so.
Yeah, so you want to see offenses that have to pass to come from behind, right? And I think that leads into KC when they get up on a lead, and it forces Ryan Tannehill to throw, and he hasn't been all accurate this year. So I think he's been susceptible in giving up the ball. So I think you can play KC, and same thing. I mean, not even when he's giving up the ball, but just Mahomes is just making these boneheaded plays this year, and he's already had 8 turnovers.
Yes, sir.
So I think you can pay down 2,100 for KC and get 6 points there. Another one that I like I think that's probably even better. It's 2,500. It's Giants versus Carolina. That D line versus O line matchup is the best on the slate in favor of the D line. They're 2,500 and they're probably about 15% ownership, so that's a pretty good one for you. And then I like the Raiders and the Cardinals.
Which side of it, or both?
I like both the Raiders and the Cardinals. Raiders playing Jalen Hurts. The guy just – I mean, we talked about this before the podcast. He's Tim Tebow. So, I mean, the guy's not going to do anything for 3 quarters. And then whenever they start playing prevent, the guy's going to just go off and make the game look closer than what it actually was and give you a suitable fantasy day. And then Arizona, we talked about it, that defensive line is just a menace right now and causing massive amounts of chaos and turnovers with strip sacks and fumbles. And so I like the Cardinals there. However, I think the Cardinals are pretty much the lock in cash right now with how the spread and the implied point total. I think you got to run with the Cardinals in cash.
I'm going to have to agree with you there. I actually do really like your take on playing the defense against the Chiefs, even though I think it's a team that no one wants to play. You never want to pick the defense that's playing against Patrick Mahomes because of who he is, but they actually are the second worst in turnover differential so far this year, only beating out the Jaguars. So defenses are taking a nice little toll against them and stacking up. And then obviously because of that, you're getting a very, very cheap defense. Sadly, the Titans defense has been absolutely terrible as well. But
yeah. I think if you want to pay all the way up, the Buccaneers aren't a bad shot either. They're 4K.
I like the Patriots going against the Jets as well.
That's a good one too. Yeah. But I think if you're going to pay up that much, then just pay the extra 600 and get the Buccaneers over the Chicago. I mean, right now the Patriots are projecting for about 15% ownership, and the Bucs are under 5 right now.
Oh, fair enough. I'll take you up on that. All right. Do you want to, before we get out of here, are you interested in helping me build a lineup?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. I'm going to share my screen with you now. All righty then. Welcome in. Welcome all. Before we get started on this lineup, I just want to go over last week's lineup. I want to apologize for my Robert Woods pick. You originally said Cooper Kupp, and I said, why don't we pay down? That was my mistake. This Michael Pittman thing, that was you. I'm just going to say it now. But other than that, we smashed it. Just going to say that. We killed it. We did great. So let's see if we can do a little bit better this week and not make the mistake of playing the wrong. Ooh, I almost made a mistake here. And not playing the wrong team member on the right team. So let us begin with our quarterback play, because this is going to be an unlimited tournament. So we need to take our highest upside picks across the board. That's also something that I've noticed about these free leagues that we've been playing. Unlimited amount of rosters. So you're pretty much playing against every roster imaginable, because I'm sure someone out there is generating every possibility.
Well, so you're only in these, again, for people, you're only allowed to put one roster in. However, they have an unlimited amount of rosters that are available to put in. So
thank you for the correction.
It's a single entry, but however, you're just getting a mass multi of entries. Okay. I think so. If we're gonna go tournaments here, I'm not gonna lie here. I haven't really built a lot of tournament entries this week, but I think I want to go Tom Brady.
You want to go Tom Brady? I don't mind it. I don't mind that at all. If we're gonna go Brady, do you want to go defense next? Or do you want to go defense last?
Well, let's go defense last.
Okay. All right. As far as the running backs,
let's hold off running backs. I really want to try this Brady, Evans, Godwin stack.
And Godwin, my boy. I saw him. Hold up. There we go. All right, we got Godwin in there. Now we're averaging about $4,900 per player remaining. We're gonna need some cheap options in there somewhere.
All right. Let's see. Let's go with our tight end. Let's see. Let's scroll down. I mean, there's Cole Kmet sitting there at 3K, or we either play that, and I think that's our bet.
I know you see the name right below him. You're just really trying to avoid the subject. I can see it.
Yeah. You know what? Let's do that. We'll go CJ Uzomah.
No. We're going Cole Kmet this time. We went Brandon Cooks last time, or Robert Woods last time, and you told me to go Cup. We made the mistake. Let's make up for it. All right. Let's see. Now we're remaining at $5,300 a player. We still need a wide receiver, a flex, and 2 running backs and a defense.
I'm trying to think who I want to attack right now and what situation we want. Let's look at this. Let's look at this Atlanta-Miami game.
All right. Who were you thinking about? We got Jalen Waddle sitting here at 56. We've got... How much is Cordero Patterson? What's he sitting at? He's at 63. Are you interested in like a Russell Gage?
No, not really. I really kind of want to put. What would it do if we played Calvin Ridley and Waddle?
I don't know if we'll be able to play a running back at that point. Waddle at flex.
Mm-hmm.
Find my dream man. Where's he at?
Right there. Oh, you just scrolled.
There we go.
There you go.
All right, 4,900 remaining. We're going to have to go with the cheapest defense out there.
Let's run.
How do you like the Titans defense in this?
Let's do. Let me see here. Let's run. Let's run the Falcons defense.
The Falcons defense with this? Okay.
Yes.
27. All right, now we need 2 running backs, 6K average. So obviously we're not getting Derrick Henry in there.
What do you mean we can't get Derrick Henry now? So I'm thinking
we can find a running back for 2,800.
We go to our guy that we talked about earlier in the show.
Which one?
James Conner, 56.
James Conner. Okay. Leaving us 6,400. We can get Leonard Fournette in there, Chuba, Josh Jacobs, Daryl Williams.
I think we do. Well, hold on.
We could do Daryl and Fournette.
What if we did? Because we've got in Connor right now. What if we went Devante? Let's pay just a little bit further down, and we'll do Devante Booker instead of Connor. So I want to try and get this
Booker this week.
I mean, the guy's gonna have to get a role. I mean,
okay.
And can we pay for Daryl Henderson now?
We cannot. We still cannot.
No, still can't.
We are 100 off.
All right, let's go back to Connor and.
What about Miles Sanders? Are we taking too many shots?
I mean, no, you got to take your shots, but I just think.
Sanders would open us up for Henderson and not Aaron Jones, but close.
Yeah, go with that then. Do Sanders, Henderson. And let's pay up a little bit. Let's see where we can get up with the defense then.
At 3K, we can get the Raiders against Philly. We can get.
Yeah, let's do the Raiders.
Raiders.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see how that looks. Oh, okay. That was a one-click entry. Nope. We don't get to see how. We get to see how it looks. All righty. We got Tom Brady, Daryl Henderson, Miles Sanders, Mike Evans, and Chris Godwin, the super stack, along with Calvin Ridley and Cole Kmet. And then, obviously, one of my favorite players in the league right now because of who he is, Jalen Waddle, rounded out by the Las Vegas defense. What's just luck? We win 5K. Don't worry. It'll be spread out to all of you beautiful fans because we don't deserve if we win. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Do not forget to tune in for the Sunday live stream where I will be here by myself. So I'm going to need all of you to join into the chat. Ask me a bunch of questions. Keep me entertained for that hour. Hugh, don't be afraid to stop on by. I can get you in there for a little bit. Mike will also be tuning in while he can. And if you guys haven't already, subscribe to the channel, like the videos, hit the little bell icon, and join the Discord. Hugh, thank you so much for joining. I love having these episodes with you.
Yep. Well, hope you have a good Sunday.
All right, man. I'm going to stop this screen share here, and I'm going to say thank you guys one more time, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you.